Hi everyone, this is Clint Indrell, Managing Director of On Demand HR. Today I wanted to give you an update on what was some fairly significant comments made by Deputy President Lyndall from the Fair Work Commission about a case, an unfair dismissal case in Kimber versus Sapphire Community Coast Aged Care. And this is a really important commentary to consider for businesses when they're considering the issues of workplace vaccination. And this decision certainly puts a fair amount of doubt on what businesses may be able to do regarding this issue going forward. So I want to take some time to look at this case today. I want to talk about Deputy President Dean's comments and consider the potential implications for business. So if we look at the case, first of all, Kimber was dismissed by Sapphire for refusing to do a directive to get a flu vaccination. Now, this is going back a little bit before 2021 when COVID vaccinations were available. Now, at the time of the dismissal, the requirement for a flu vaccination was part of the New South Wales government's response to COVID-19 for aged care workers. And Kimber refused the vaccination, stating generally that she had an adverse reaction to vaccines in the past and that her employment as a result of all this was terminated by Sapphire. Now, in the original case, the termination was found to be fair and reasonable. Kimber was unable to medically substantiate the past adverse reactions to vaccines were directly linked to the flu vaccination, perhaps a lack of medical evidence in that particular situation. But following the initial decision, Kimber sought leave to appeal the decision, and this was rejected by the Fair Work Commission full bench on a 2-to-1 decision basis. And there was some commentary for those who rejected the appeal from Kimber, that Kimber held a general anti-vaccination position. It would not be in the public interest to allow the appeal to proceed. And that was Vice President Hatcher and Commissioner Riordan went on to state further that we do not intend in the current circumstances to give any encouragement to an objection to workplace vaccination. So, however, what was significant about this was Deputy President Dean's comments. She didn't agree with her comments, and following the refusal to allow the case on appeal, she made a number of comments in the decision as follows, and we'll get to that in a moment. So Deputy President Dean said she hoped the majority decision was recognised as an anomaly and not followed by others. And she went on to say that all Australians should vigorously oppose the introduction of a system of medical apartheid and segregation in Australia. Blanket rules such as mandating vaccinations for everyone across a whole professional industry, regardless of the actual risk, is a lazy and fundamentally flawed approach to risk management and should be soundly rejected by the courts when challenged. Deputy President Dean went on to say that she also went on to challenge the views of many politicians about the unvaccinated population. The statements by politicians that those who are not vaccinated are a threat to public health should be locked out of society and denied the ability to work are not measures to protect public health. They are not about public health and are not justified because they do not address the actual risk of COVID. These measures can only be about punishing those who choose not to be vaccinated, Deputy President Dean said. She said Australians who held anti-vaccination sentiments were entitled to the full protection of the law, including fair work laws. So it's quite a bit to unpack in all of that, but she said, Deputy President Dean, that she wanted the decision recognised as an anomaly, not followed by others. So what she means by that is that effectively this will be case law and that she's not wanting other commissioners and obviously others in the courts to follow this decision in future cases. Obviously, there's going to be many cases on this subject in the next probably few years, I would say. The second important thing that she pointed out was that blanket rules, such as mandating vaccinations, was a lazy and fundamental flawed approach to risk management. So what she's meaning by that is ultimately that a business that just takes the view, just everyone has to get vaccinated for the purposes of maintaining health and safety on a mandatory basis. She's challenging that notion by saying, well, different people have different roles in businesses, and some may have more risk than others who might have very limited contact with people or other people in those situations. So that was very interesting about her position on it as well. So I guess from Deputy President Dean's comments, it seems that there's certainly not a uniform view within the Fair Work Commission when it comes to the subject of workplace vaccinations and, of course, termination of employment, which may arise as a result. So it may very well come down to each commissioner's determination of the matters at hand. And that's obviously going to be quite a nervous prospect for the business community, in that, again, it may very well come down to what commissioner that you are getting on the day to determine whether or not your case is going to succeed or fail should you terminate someone because of a failure to undertake a direction to vaccinate. Certainly, I guess in summation, Deputy President Dean's decision confirms that if an unfair dismissal is lodged in response to a mandatory workplace vaccination, there's probably going to be a contest on the evidence and as to whether it's a valid reason for termination. It's not to say that it won't be. It's not to say that it will be. But again, we'll obviously see some more decisions on these matters in the coming months. We'll definitely be keeping our audience updated on any updates that we see. And for now, I think, again, the sensible thing is to be following the government directions. And if you obviously need any further advice on these things, please feel free to reach out to On Demand HR to discuss your specific circumstances. So thanks very much once again, everyone. My name is Clinton Drell, Managing Director of On Demand HR, and I hope you got something out of this segment, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon.